Hey everybody, this is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio. Welcome back. All right, so to start, I opened my Cricut design space and I'm creating this punch shape in Cricut design space. Now, I've been calling it the whale tail punch, but apparently that's the type of punch itself and not the shape. The shape is just a tab. And there are videos out there that'll show you how to create this shape without the punch, since it's no longer manufactured, but it's still in huge demand. In fact, the demand is so high for this discontinued punch that sometimes you'll see an older one listed for as much as $100 on other websites. That's crazy, right? I mean, I'm not going to spend $100 on it, especially if I can find another way to make it, which is why these videos are great because, you may have some tools but not others. Um, so there are other ways to create this shape without having that specific punch. Um, Different creators have different ways of doing that, and sometimes it requires a lot of different tools and or various punches to get that shape. But if you have a craft cutting machine, you not only can recreate this shape or design in your software, but you can change the size of it at any time. You can make it larger or smaller so it fits your needs. Whereas with the punch, you get one size and that's it. Um, so today I'm going to show you how I created this shape using Design Space. And you can follow along with me to create your own, or you can simply join my Facebook group. I'll put the link below, and that'll link you to the group, which in there you'll find the link to this file in Design Space. I'm always happy to share it. Some people like trying to create their own, they learn through doing. Other people are like, I'm in a hurry, I just want the file. Either one's okay, neither one's right or wrong. We all do things that work out best for us, and that's kind of what you have to do. Um, the only thing I ask, though, in order to use my file, is that you like the video, you subscribe to my channel, and if possible, and you don't mind, if you share it out on your own Facebook pages or groups or whatever. But please do not ever just share the file with your friends. They can go through the same steps you went through. I don't think it's asking too much for them to, you know, subscribe, join my group and download the file, because there'll be other files that they'll have access to. So it's not just this one file. And let's see. I think that's about it. At some point, I may go and recreate this as an actual SVG file that could be used in any software for different cutting machines. I haven't done that yet. If I get enough interest in it, then I will. But for right now, I'm kind of just focusing on the Cricut. But it is something I can do. So if you are interested, just let me know. Leave me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, let's get started, shall we? So we're going to go into Design Space, and I created this, what looks complicated but really isn't, in using a couple of different shapes that are free as long as you have a subscription to Design Space. Now, some of the shapes are free even if you don't have a subscription. You can always upload shapes if you've got them from somewhere else. But what we're going to do today is we're just going to go into shapes and then we'll go into images. So in shapes, the first thing I did was I chose the circle, right? Because that's what we want to start with. And I always want to change the color because I just don't like that gray. You've heard me say it 1,000 times probably. Well, maybe not. Nobody listens to me that much. But we're going to start with a circle. So then we're going to go into images. And here's where it can get a little interesting as far as your search goes. I search for tags, but I think you can also search for shapes and find them that way too. You're going to have to sift through some files here before you find what you're looking for, but you will find it eventually. And try to find the one that I used primarily, but there you could use any of them. I mean, you really could. It just depends on what look you're going for. Scrolling a little slow here for some reason. Oh, well. All right, I'm going to select this one just because it's kind of interesting, and I'll select that one too. These aren't the ones I was specifically looking for. But I know it's in here somewhere. Check those. This will work. It's not quite as pronounced a shape as I'm looking for, but it will work. Let's see if I can find, give it just another minute here. Wait while this refreshes. Okay. Hopefully I don't just sail past it in my rush to find the one I'm looking for. Oh, come on. Nope. But as you can see, there's a lot of interesting shapes in here, and you really can do this with any number of different shapes. Okay, I'm going to pick that one. It might be similar to one I've already picked, but we'll do it anyway. I think I'm getting closer. I feel like I'm getting closer. There it is. Well, that's not really, I don't know. We'll pick it. We'll see. You see so many of the same ones that are basically the same shape, just duplicates. Well, I don't know why. All right, well, we'll just work with what we've got here. So we're going to add these, the ones that we've selected, to our canvas. And they're all different sizes, so I'm going to shrink that one. That's really big. And I'm going to shrink this one. Yeah, those are just a little different. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of put them all together now. I could have done this before, but I wanted them to roughly be the same size before I started. I'm just going to minimize those a little bit. Pull them up here out of the way. I'm going to work on this in a bigger form just because it'll be easier for me. So what we want to do is, well, let's take this one and we're going to enlarge it to where it looks like it's the right size. Now I am going to get rid, I don't really need to, but I am going to get rid of that that hole punch there, just because I don't want it to accidentally cut out if I move things incorrectly. So you know what I'm going to do. Let's go and select them both, and I'm going to align them horizontally. Well, that wasn't what I meant to do. Let's align them vertically. I always get those two confused. Do you guys do that? Of course, I also get my left and right confused. Not 10 minutes ago, my husband was teasing me about that. All right, so let's duplicate this one. And I think that's about the right size. So just to get those correctly positioned, I'm going to align those at the top there. And then I'm going to, let's see, I think I want to make a little, yeah, I definitely want to make some more space in the center. That looks pretty good there. So then I'm going to group them, and then I'm going to center everything. So align and center. And these are grouped, but I don't think, yeah. So even though they're grouped, I need to combine them into one or cut them separately or slice them separately. So I'm going to go ahead and weld them just so I can do this in one step. And then I'm going to slice. And we're going to get rid of all this. And there's your punch. So there's a couple more things we need to do. If you don't like these fins that kick out so far, extreme points, which, you know, those can be a little fussy and get, you know, kind of bent up and whatever, there's something you can do to get rid of those. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring in another shape, which is the square. And we're going to enlarge that. That's probably bigger than we needed it. And we're just going to kind of center it here. And actually, I want to bring this to the front so I can see just how far behind that is. And then I'm going to duplicate that. Basically, I'm going to repeat the same steps that I did before. So let's bring that back to the front. And I'm going to select the two squares. And I'm going to align them that way. And then I'm going to, let's see, do I want to go ahead and, I think I want to stretch one out just a little bit more. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and combine them into a weld. And then I'm going to select everything, all three pieces there. And I'm going to center it just to make sure it's right where I want it. And then I'm going to slice it. And so now we're going to pull away our sliced bits and get rid of those. And there's your punch. So the only thing left to do is to add our, what's the word I want? Our little folding strip here across the center. So we need to go back into shapes, and we don't want it up and down because our piece is going up and down. So what we need to do is we need to rotate that 90 degrees. Now you can either, I think it's the shift and click, and nope, it's not the shift, it's the control. Nope, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I know, I've got to get the, yeah, it's not control. All right, so it is the shift. But then you have to get the little curvy arrow thing. So you can do it that way, or you could just go up into this rotate field here and type in 90 if you know it's 90. Whatever's easier for you is the way to do that. And once again, I'm going to center just to make sure. And then I'm going to attach it. Now, on the ones I did originally here, you can see that I added a little tag. This is separate. You don't have to cut that out if you don't want to. Let's see, do I have that grouped? Yeah. So that's just in case you want to add a label or something. Maybe you're using a colored cardstock and you want to add a nice label that's going to be easy to read. I've included that shape for you, but you don't have to use it. It's up to you. I've also included the rectangular shape with the rounded corners up there. Again, that's just an option. It's not something you have to use. But there you go. Now we've created our punch. So let's see how it works if we do it in a couple of different shapes. Let's get us a couple more circles. And once again, I'm changing the color because I want a happy color. And blue is a happy color to me. All right, so we could use this one. Let's again bring that to the front and enlarge it. And probably would enlarge it a little bit more. And actually, you know what? I'm going to delete this one. And since I've got this one sized, I'll just duplicate that a couple of times. Make that a little easier for myself. Okay, so then we want to duplicate this. And now you could also work with this if you wanted to turn this. And again, here's the rotate option. You come up to the rotate field up here at the top and type 90. And you could use this just like we used the other one. We'd want to make that a little smaller. And you could do it like that. So that's an option as well. In fact, we'll just save that and we'll do both of them, and then you can see. But if you don't want to stay tuned, you have already seen how we do this. I'm just repeating it for, repetition's sake, so that it kind of sinks in. But we're not going to do anything different or new. So if you want to, you can go find the link below in the comments, or you can stay tuned and have a play with us, because that's what we're doing today. We're just playing. All right, so I've got those. Let's see, before I do that, I do want that a little bit wider in the center. That's pretty good. So again, I'm going to align these either top or bottom. I just want them to be on the same plane, or whatever that's called, axis, I'm not even sure. And then I'm going to combine and weld those so that they're one piece. And then I'm going to select those and the circle, and I'm going to align and center everything. And then I'm going to slice. And we're going to get rid of our sliced pieces. And there we have it. So let's add our shapes again. Let's just use the rectangle this time. Except it's going the wrong way, but we can fix that. We just unlock our proportions tool, and let's make another one of those. And we'll go align top, and then before I do that, I want to bring this to the top. And the reason is because I want to see just how much of these tails we're cutting off roughly. All right, so that looks pretty good. So this and this, now I'm going to combine them and weld them. And then since I have them ready, I'll go ahead and duplicate that for the next ones that we're going to do. So then we're going to take all of those three pieces, or well, it's really two because we welded the one, and we're going to center them, and then we're going to slice. And pull this, I'm trying to get rid of that there, and delete. So here we go, we have another one. So if we select that and then just come over here to our layers panel, we can select the score line. Score is the word I was trying to think of earlier, and we can duplicate it. Except where did it go? That's interesting. It's selected, and we hit duplicate. Oh, it's up there. Okay, now I see it. I don't know why it didn't work the first time. We'll make that just a little bit bigger, just in case. And then we're going to go and select the score line and the tab, and we're going to center it again. And we're going to attach it. And that's ready to be cut out. Now, the score line, the score tool works different depending on which Cricut you have. So it's you're kind of going to need to know that for yourself. I'm currently using the Cricut Maker 3, so I just have to replace that and the cutting blade each time. Whereas with my previous Cricut Maker, I could use the score pin in the pins holder. So you kind of have to know what machine you're using in order to know which tool you're going to need, but that's how that works. So that's a slightly different shape. Again, it's up to you to determine what look you're going for, but you could sit here and create a bunch of these at once, and then you'd have them ready to go. So let's see, this kind of looks a lot like the other one, so we'll just delete that. That kind of looks like a lot like the one we just did. So we'll just do this one here, and we're going to flip it 90 degrees. I like to put in 90 because for me it's quicker than making sure my fingers are on all the right keys, but you do whatever works best for you. Now I want to get rid of this hole there, the tag hole, whatever you want to call it. We're going to hide that contour, and then we're going to bring this to the front. And we're going to resize it. That's probably way too big, but maybe not. Then we're going to duplicate it, and we're going to flip it vertical. Nope. It's almost never my first guess, doggone it. Alright, and so now we're going to highlight both of the tags that have the top shape that we want to use this time. And we're going to align them, and we're going to align at the top. And then I want to bring this back to the front because I want to see, well, that didn't really work, did it? I think I was better off this way. Okay, so that leaves a center. I might just spread this out a little bit more. There we go. So now I want to select both of those tags, and I'm going to combine and then weld. And then I'm going to select them again along with the circle in the background, and I'm going to align and center one more time. And now we can slice that out. And we highlight those. They're selected, and we can delete them. So here you have the option. Let's duplicate that. Now here you have the option to, again, square off those pointed corners, and let's send those to the back. And I might stretch that out just a little bit. Alright, so now we're going to center it all, and then we're going to slice. Yep. Pull those off of there, pull that over, get rid of the waste, and we'll get our score line. We're going to duplicate that, bring that over. Make sure it covers the whole rough center there. Oops. There we go. Select both, and then we're going to align and center. And then we're going to attach. And so there's another punch. Now you may or may not like the way that one looks. It's up to you. The original punches looked more like the originals that I did up here. But it's just kind of fun to play with it, and the more you play with it, the more you'll learn, and the more comfortable you'll get, and the more you'll use your tools, because they're not cheap tools, these cutters. So I hope that answers a few of your questions. I hope that makes you a little more comfortable trying something different and saving yourself a few dollars, because those punches are, like I said, they're in high demand, and people are paying almost $100 for them, or at least people are asking $100 for them. I don't know if people are actually paying that or not, but they're asking a lot of money. So, you know, if you've got money to burn and it's just easier for you to do that, then by all means you do that. But if you like to craft on the cheap, or if you're more of a thrifty crafter like a lot of us are, there's just different ways to do this. Use the tools that you have. There are videos out there that show you how to use different, like the envelope punches, as well as some round punches. You could use some round dies, maybe in combination with some different dies. So there's options. You know, just get creative with it, and use what you have. You know, my craft room is so full I can't unpack everything. I've still got stuff in boxes from 2 years ago when I moved in because I just don't have room for it. So, you know, instead of buying more stuff, let's use what we have and get creative. That's part of the fun. But again, do what works for you. So anyway, I hope you learned something here today. I'd love to hear your comments. If there's something else you want to see, feel free to ask. And until then, happy crafting. So I realized that I forgot to show you uh, what this other side of this would look like. So one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to unlock my proportions, size proportions, and I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. And I'm going to pull that into there just roughly, and we're going to duplicate that. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so let's align those at the top or the bottom again. I usually do top because it comes up first. And then I'm going to weld them. And then I'm going to center that weld along with my base circle. I'm going to align it again. And now we're going to slice it. And once we've done that, pull away the sliced pieces. And there you go. Now this one's really interesting to me. I kind of like it. It might be my favorite so far. So let's duplicate. Oh, where'd I go? I accidentally clicked somewhere off the canvas here. Okay, so let's duplicate our side pieces that square off our edges here. These would probably be okay this way, but I just want to see. So actually what I might do is I might go ahead and duplicate this first. There we go, we have that. And then go ahead and see what we've got here. So I'm going to need to shrink that down a little more. And I'll send that to the back so I can see. Okay, let's just shrink it a little more. Basically, I just want to make sure that I'm getting all the way into this, past this corner here. I don't know why. I can't explain to you why I feel like that's important. It just feels important to me, so we're going to go with it. So I'm going to select those. We're going to align and center again, and then we're going to slice. And then we'll pull away our sliced bits and highlight them and delete them. So there you go. You can see the two. I just feel like this is going to be easier to work with. There's fewer, I don't know. It feels a little cleaner to me maybe. But you could certainly do it either way. And then of course you would go in and you would add your score strip. Let's grab a couple of those. And grab our score strips here, stretch that out just a little bit. I like to make sure it completely covers the area that I need it to score. And then we're going to again center and we'll attach. And we're going to do the same with this one. Center and attach. And there you go. You have another interesting tab, folded tab topper, whatever you want to call it. I actually really like this one. I think this might be one of my favorites, and I didn't even do this one yet. But yeah, I really like that. So I guess while we're at it here, since I'm doing an addendum, well, I don't know if I'm really gonna like that one, but sometimes I can't tell until I'm done. So let's bring it to the top. Let's enlarge it. Yeah, it'd probably be all right. I'm not going to do it, but anyway, you get the idea. So,